Jimmy, this is MC and Ozzy. I'm just chilling, Jimmy Star, yo, sitting down and designing. Why every man never thinking, what are we gonna be?
Hey everybody, now we want to welcome to Backstage with Jimmy Star, the incredibly talented actor, writer, producer, and author Sean Kanan. Hello and welcome.
Hey Jimmy, good to see you again. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So anyone who doesn't know you, I want to do a quick little background of kind of like how people would know you. You played Mike Barnes in The Karate Kid 3, which was like
many years ago.
Many years ago, but you don't look any older, hardly at all. Maybe 10 pounds heavier, and that's about it.
Right.
As Deacon Sharp on The Young and the Restless, and on The Bold and the Beautiful. As AJ Quartermain on General Hospital, which that's probably like more, because that was when I was in college. I was watching that. I actually liked that a whole lot. And you're an author of The Modern Gentleman, Cooking and Entertaining with Sean Kanan.
I am.
So congratulations on all of that, and thanks for coming on
you.
the show. And I thought the first thing I want to just bring up real quick is this is a campaign I think that we need to do for you, since you are Mike Barnes from The Karate Kid, and I collect action figures of everybody who's been on the show. And this is
I want my action figure.
This is the Daniel LaRusso one, and I think that we need to start tweeting to Funko that they need to make a Mike Barnes one and see if we can get enough people to do it. I think we'll do. Okay, so if I start it, you make sure you help follow it and help get people to do it.
Absolutely.
I will absolutely do it. So we're going to work on getting a Mike Barnes Funko
that'd be
Pop.
awesome.
I love it, and you should totally have one. I love the new T-shirt that you've got for them.
Thank
If
you.
you go to, tell everybody how you go to get the cool Mike Barnes T-shirt.
Yeah, I got this this Mike Barnes T-shirt that says "Your Karate's a Joke," and it's a funny picture of me. You can get it by going to my website, which is SeanKanan.themodernGentleman.com, and you can also pick up my book there. So I think people are going to kick out of it. We've been selling a lot of them.
I think it's
And
hilarious.
especially because Jimmy, you know, they're doing a remake of the Karate Kid characters. Billy Zabka, who played Johnny Lawrence, and Ralph Macchio, of course, who was Daniel's son, and they're doing a comedy, like a television comedy about the Karate Kid.
I think it's hilarious.
You might see me popping by on one of the episodes. So I figured, you know, there's this resurgence of interest in the Karate Kid franchise, and I just thought it'd be a fun idea for the fans to have this shirt.
And it's actually on. I forgot. I just watched it not too long ago, and I think it's either on Hulu or Netflix. It's on one of those like platforms right now that you can see it.
It's always, you know, it's always playing somewhere. I mean, it plays consistently, and there's like a whole new generation now that's become acquainted with the trilogy. Oh, it's not a trilogy, actually. I guess there were 4. So it's nice.
The fourth one has Jennifer Garner, or no?
No, as Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank, yes. Okay, Hilary Swank. That one wasn't really like, though. It didn't really seem like it was in it like the other ones did, because it didn't have.
It did have Mr. Miyagi in it.
Yeah, it didn't have Mr. Miyagi, and I have his action figure too, even though I've never interviewed him. But I collect everything from everybody who's been on the show, so we have to get one for you, so that way I've got one. So here we go. Here's my thought-provoking questions. It's not going to be what your actually, I did a couple of normal questions, and then I did some like far-out wild questions.
All right.
See what kind of answers you come up with. So here we
Let's
go.
see.
You've worked in television and film. What's the biggest difference between the two of them, since you've been successful in both?
The biggest difference is that television generally moves much more quickly. You know, when you do a film, if you're lucky, you'll have some rehearsal time before principal photography starts. Generally speaking, you know, you're shooting 8, maybe 10 pages a day. And you know, on Bold and the Beautiful, we shoot probably 85, 90 pages a day. So, you know, the more time that you take generally as an actor, you know, it's more desirable because you get to play more, you get to hopefully get the absolute best result because you're not quite as constrained by time.
I actually saw, I don't know if it was a movie or a television show, and it was about the soap opera industry, about people and how like they would get fired because they couldn't remember their lines, and they don't do a lot of retakes in soaps. Is that true?
Yeah, it's really true. Well, you know,
It's sink or swim.
You know, it's funny. I don't know how these young kids who get on a show now do it, because they're thrown so much material. You know, I started in soap operas 25 years ago, and so I had some time to cut my teeth and develop the skill set of learning a lot of dialogue. Now for me, it's very easy. I mean, I can learn a lot of dialogue very quickly. But now, you know, coming into a show, you better have that skill set right away. It almost doesn't matter how good an actor you are, because if you're slowing down production, you know, the medium just can't wait.
I think that's intense. It's super intense. All right.
It is intense.
So you've added comedian to your already large skill set in the entertainment industry. You're very funny. I went to one of your shows last year. How did that come about?
I've always loved stand-up comedy. When I was about 14 years old, a buddy and I, we snuck into a comedy club, and I was just mesmerized watching these guys with nothing but a microphone and their words, keeping the audience spellbound. And I started doing it pretty early. I started doing some stand-up when I was 15, 16, and intermittently I'd done it. And I just decided, in the last year or so that I really wanted to get more serious with it, because there's just no feeling like that connection that you have with the audience. When you're making a movie or you're making a TV show, unless you're on a sitcom in front of a live audience, you're not in front of a live audience.
Right, you're not in front of a live audience.
The thing about stand-up is you just immediately know how you're doing, how it's being perceived, and they're my thoughts. You know what I mean? I'm not using someone else's words. I'm using mine.
Which is cool because, fortunately you're funny, so you don't have any of those moments where they you're telling all your jokes and then they're not responding, or everybody's just sitting there and
right.
not laughing, which would be terrible. But it's very funny, and anybody who sees any of your shows will definitely love them. So they need to follow you on Twitter and see them. Okay, you've worked as an actor, producer, executive producer, and writer. How do you like being the person behind the scenes as opposed to being the actual star in front of the camera?
I think writing is probably the most difficult. It's very monastic writing. I enjoy producing a lot. I like taking a project from the inception, from the genesis, and seeing it through to its fruition, being involved with every aspect from casting, crewing up, and eventually into selling the film, which is the really fun part. So I really enjoy producing. I think acting, though, for me is it's my first love.
Right.
I really truly love acting. My favorite stuff is being on stage, doing theater.
Yes.
So hopefully I'm going to be able to continue to sort of merge all three of those in my career as I continue on.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
Each one sort of feeds a different hunger, I guess.
There you go. And being a stage actor, you definitely have to be able to remember your lines, or you're really screwed.
I mean, I'll tell you a really quick story. I was doing a play, and the lights were down, and they were just before they came up, and you would see me on stage, and I look in the darkness, and I see the other actor is out on stage, and he's so in character. And if the lights come up, it's going to ruin the play. I mean, it's one of those plays where he simply could not have been there. And I'm like, get off the stage, get off the stage. And luckily, at the last minute, he heard me and took off, and the lights came up. But I mean, you really are kind of flying by the seat of your pants. I mean, once the curtain opens, the director is sitting in the audience. I mean, it's not like he yells cut. And, you are on that stage until you're not on the stage. I like that. I like the... I suppose there's a thrill aspect to it that I like as much as I like the actual, telling a story.
That's very similar to the comedy, too, because you're getting a reaction from the audience right away.
Right.
All right, so here we go. And now we're going to pick up some, unusual questions. If you could have dinner with anyone in history, who would you choose and why?
That's a really tough one.
I'm going to make you think.
Honestly, I think I would actually say Jesus.
Okay.
I'm not a real religious guy, but I mean, with the exception of maybe one or two other people, who else has influenced mankind and the world?
Right.
And, I want to see what it's all about.
There you go.
Is he just kind of is he the son of God? Is he a prophet? Is he just kind of this upstart guy from Nazareth? I mean, I just what does he really look like? Is he have blonde hair and blue eyes?
That's right.
Is he often, or is he dark-skinned and brown eyes and Semitic looking? I mean, I'd really like to just see what it's all about. And hopefully,
and you never think
a lot of wisdom.
You never know, too, because everybody's got their own idea of what Jesus looks like, and then there's the traditional version. It'd be funny, right, if you actually could do that, and he totally was had a mohawk or something.
Right.
It would be fun. All right. Today's newspaper just hit the stands, and you're in the headlines. What do they say?
I'm still standing.
Okay.
I tell you, I really kind of have been a cat with 9 lives. in my personal life and in my professional life. I always am seeking to kind of recreate myself. I mean, I've gone back to a lot of familiar wells like daytime, but I'm always looking to do other things because, for me, being stagnant is really, as an actor, I want to be creating all the time.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, unless you're at a point in your career as an actor where you're being offered scripts and jobs all the time, you're usually just another actor looking for a job, which means I don't always get the opportunity to act on TV or film. And so if that's not clicking, I'll be looking for a play to do or stand up to do or to get involved in something as a producer. But I kind of need to keep moving. And after all these years, I have definitely had my ups and downs, but I'm still standing.
Do you have to still audition?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I do. No, I mean, I've actually, what's nice though is I've reached a point in my career where from time to time I do get offered films, which is really nice. It's not the norm, but this one that I just did, The Absence of Good Men, I was fortunate enough that the director from Limelight had become a producer on The Absence of Good Men. And he called me up at like 6:45 on a Tuesday and said, Sean, I need a guy who can come in and do a couple scenes with Jason Patric. And I said, Jason Patric, are you kidding? I'm there. And I actually had a court appointment the next day. And, you can't skip court. And I looked at Michelle and I was like, I got to go do this. She goes, don't worry. I'll go to court. I'll talk to the judge. I'll smooth it out. It won't be a big deal. And so I went and was on set the next day being fitted for my clothing from the 1920s.
How cool is that?
I was in this great set with all the, I don't know if they'd be Model T cars or what they would be, but cars from the 20s.
Right.
And it was just like, I was like, wow, this is just great.
Which we should mention real quick. Michelle is your lovely wife. Yeah. So we'll give a little shout out. Hi, Michelle, just so in case anybody who doesn't know that you have a lovely wife named Michelle, now they do. All right. So then what is the most useless talent that you have?
I know a bunch of trivia that's stupid.
I do too.
I know a bunch of stuff that, maybe on Jeopardy for Dummies, I would kill it. I don't know stuff that's really probably intelligent trivia, but I know a lot of pop culture trivia. I know a lot of history.
That's my same answer. That would be my same answer. We watch Jeopardy a lot, and I like it because they did High School Jeopardy a couple weeks ago, and I knew all the answers because they did all the pop culture-y kind of stuff, and I knew all the answers to that.
I saw preschool Jeopardy. Yeah. In the audience. That was.
It's funny though, because I'm one of those people. I can listen to the radio, and it doesn't matter if it's 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, or today. I know every single song that's on there of every person who sings, and I know all the words to all the songs. I mean, I couldn't make a nickel from it, but I know it all.
Here's another thing that I've got a black belt in the Brady Bunch. I grew up watching the Brady Bunch and Happy Days, and the original Star Trek. So I really, defy anyone to stump me too badly on Star Trek, the original one, not the new ones.
Right, the original.
The Brady Bunch, or what was the other one I said? Happy Days.
I'm like that with the Golden Girls.
If anyone wants to tweet me with a question, I will answer it.
I know all the Golden Girl stuff. All right.
And I got to present an award to Henry Winkler at the Skirball Center, and he was the evening's guest on the dais, and I got to present it. And I mean, it was like my life.
There you go. How much fun is that?
I have arrived. I'm presenting the Fonz with an award.
Actually, when the Fonz was in, I think that was Scream or whatever, I was so excited to see him acting in Scream or something. I think that was the first one or one of those. He was in one of those. All right. So they're going to make a movie of your life. Who would you choose to play you?
Oh, boy. Oh, my God. I actually think that it's hard to answer this and not sound self-important, isn't it? I don't know.
That's okay. I asked it, so it's okay.
Ryan Gosling.
That's okay.
Ryan Gosling. He's a good actor, and
he's a good actor. He's not as good looking. He's not as good looking as you are, though.
Oh, he's much better looking than I am.
Oh, no way.
But maybe Ryan Gosling. How about that?
Okay, that works. I mean, he's a great actor. You cannot.
Yeah.
Can't say anything about that. So okay. So is there a song that never fails to evoke some emotion whenever you hear it?
Yeah, I've got a couple. Can I give you 3?
Okay.
Okay. In no particular order. Downbound Train by Bruce Springsteen.
Great song.
Peace Train by Cat Stevens.
Oh, I only know. Oh, yeah, I know that one. I know the Natalie Merchant one, like from Natalie Merchant. What was the band she used to be in? Now I forgot. Isn't that terrible?
I don't know what she used to be in. I don't know.
Anyway.
And this is going to sound really, really off the wall, but go listen to it and you'll see. Conway Twitty singing The Rose. And if anyone is a fan of True Detective, there was this great scene where Fred Ward and who's the star of the show? Colin Farrell are in this bar, and this guy comes out, and he's it's supposed to be a dream sequence. And I didn't know Conway Twitty sang The Rose. I always thought it was Bette Midler. And
yeah, me too.
This guy sang The Rose like Conway Twitty, and it is the most heart-wrenching, evocative, soulful thing. Listen to it; it's really good.
I think I would love it. Actually,
it's great. Hit me up later if you listen
I will.
to it.
I'll listen to it and
like
check
it.
it out.
Just send me a text and let me know if you think I'm crazy or you like it.
All right, so I'm gonna actually write it down so I don't forget. Conway Twitty, Rose. Okay. So then this is gonna be my last one because I said we were gonna keep this short. So if you were a superhero, what would you want your superpowers to be and why?
I think I would want my superpower to be. I think I would want to have cellular regeneration. Kind of like Wolverine.
Yeah, that's bad.
That my body was always in perfect physical health, and if I got injured, I could heal myself immediately. And the reason is I wouldn't wish for immortality. What happens if you get thrown in jail? Then you're really screwed, right?
Yes, that's true.
So I would rather have the ability to live a super, super long life and become as many things as I could. A doctor.
And be healthy the whole time.
And be healthy, yeah. Yeah.
I think so because now that I'm in my mid 50s, things creak a little.
Yeah, tell me about it. I hear you, brother.
I love it. So everybody, this is Sean Kanan. You want to follow him on Twitter. His Twitter is at Sean Kanan, SeanKanan, and his website is one more time.
Sean Kanan, themodernGentleman.com.
And you want to get his book. Is it still available? Because I saw it sold out. It's still available.
No, well, it's sold out on Amazon, but it's available if you get it on my website.
And he'll autograph it probably, right? You autograph it? Absolutely, you guys.
I'm glad to autograph it.
So go to the website.
Give me that action figure or whatever.
Oh, we're gonna work on that.
Funko.
We're gonna work on that. So everybody, when you see the campaign on Twitter to Funko to try to get a Mike Barnes Funko Pop for Karate Kid 3. God, I'm had a brain fart.
Yeah.
We got everybody get behind it and support it. We're gonna get this thing rocking.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
I would love that too. So thank you so much for coming on Backstage with Jimmy Star, and good luck with everything. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Jimmy. We'll talk soon. Okay.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.
Cool beans.